Hello everyone, this is MCon here with another episode of Dragon Age Origins. We're here with Durin Edukan and the rest of his party of Grey Wardens and others. And we finished up in Lothering here last time, so it's time to head out to the wide open world. See what we can see. Yes, we will gather our party and venture forth. Keep an eye out for merchants who can sell you crafting reagents and crafting recipes. Scary.
Bad dreams, huh?
It seems so real.
Well, it is real, sort of. You see, part of being a Grey Warden is being able to hear the Darkspawn. That's what your dream was, hearing them. The Archdemon, it talks to the Horde, and we feel it just as they do. That's why we know this is really a blight.
The Archdemon? Is that the dragon?
I don't know if it's really a dragon, but it sure looks like one. But yes, that's the Archdemon. It takes a bit, but eventually you can block the dreams out. Some of the older Grey Wardens say they can understand the Archdemon a bit, but I sure can't. Anyhow, when I heard you thrashing around, I thought I should tell you. It was scary at first for me too.
Any other surprises I should know about?
Other than dying young and the whole defeat the Blight alone thing, no. I'm all tapped out for surprises. Anyhow, you're up now, right? Let's pull up camp and get a move on.
Enchantment. Cool. All your party's injuries are healed when you return to the camp. Excellent. And the camp, of course, is an ideal place to talk to your party members, which we should definitely do. But first, let's speak to some of these people. Oh, look, it's Samuel.
It's good to see you, my timely rescuer. Bodon Fennick, at your service, once again. I saw your camp and thought to myself, what safer place to rest for the evening than in the camp of a Grey Warden? I'm perfectly willing to offer you a fine discount for the inconvenience of our presence. How does that sound? Good? Yes?
Let's see. You're free to stay. Just mind yourselves.
Wonderful. Thank the gentleman, won't you, boy?
Thank you, sir.
We won't be a bother to you and your companions, I assure you. If you should need enchantments, simply talk to my boy. Otherwise, come speak with me.
Alright. Sandal.
Hello.
The boy's a bit simple, but he's rather good with enchantments. One of those tranquil fellas actually called him a... what was it now? A savant. I had no idea such a thing existed.
What enchantments does he do?
He can fold lyrium into almost any weapon or piece of armor, though naturally some of the more extravagant materials will take more lyrium than others. It's a process that some of the master smiths back in Orzammar will perform, but my boy here is just as adept at it. Isn't that right, boy?
Enchantment!
And there you have it.
Well, I want some enchanting done.
Enchantment!
Alright, so we can enchant Oathkeeper only at the moment. Now a slow rune, chance to reduce movement speed. That's different, I don't remember that being there before. Flame, Lightning, and Journeyman Lightning. We'll put in the Journeyman Lightning. +2 electricity damage. Awesome! Enchanted. Let's see what
If there's
wares you
anything I
have.
can do for you, please tell me.
So, what's your story exactly?
I suppose since you told me about you being a Grey Warden, it's only fitting for me to be as open. I'm originally from Orzammar, just as you are, I suspect. You don't have the look of a surface dwarf about you. I was a merchant there, too. Merchant caste. These things are in the blood, you know. You can't just leave them behind. I ran a fairly successful business. Rare artifacts, you know. Old things, grand things. The nobles loved them. Reminded them of the lost glory days, I suppose.
Go on.
So, as I said, things were going well, but good things must come to an end. One day, a noble woman came to my stall. She looked around for a bit and then started shrieking in dismay. Apparently, she believed that a pair of braces I had for sale once belonged to her brother. He'd been lost in a cave-in, you see, while on an expedition to clear out the Darkspawn from one of the tunnels running close to the city. They were made specially for him. They're unique, she shrieked. He stole them from my poor brother's corpse. She had me arrested on the spot, of course. Nobles, they're touchy like that.
I used to be a noble.
And now you're up here, on the surface.
You are right. We're a terrible lot, aren't we?
Just a little bit. But what was I saying before? Oh, the bracers. Well, I didn't steal them. You see, I'd been paying these castless thugs to venture out into the deep roads for me. The lost tides. They're full of things that people left behind. Sometimes you can find a treasure. Something worth a little gold.
Better to do something with them than to leave them rot, I suppose.
That's exactly how I see it. The noblewoman, she wasn't too happy with the theft of her brother's braces. I don't know what they planned for me, and I didn't want to find out. Bribed the guard that was watching me and took off for the surface first opportunity I got. Never looked back.
And now, you're here.
Yes, here I am. Now, is there anything the boy or I can get you?
Have you heard any rumors, Bowden?
I hear news from Dinnerham that Tyrn Loghain has been declared the new regent. It makes sense, his daughter being the queen. That's what I've heard on the road, anyhow. Take it for what it is.
Any other rumors?
Some folks aren't happy about Tyrn Loghain being named regent. There are rumors he had something to do with the king's death. Isn't that the most ridiculous thing you ever heard? The Darkspawn killed him, sure enough. If Tyrn Loghain couldn't save the king from that inn, then nobody could. That's what I've heard on the road, anyhow. Take it for what it is.
Tell me more.
There's not just Darkspawn in the Horde, you know that? There are people with them. Folks who are sick with the blight, and their minds are all twisted and mad. I heard tell of a man meeting his own brother on the field, yet when he called out to him, his brother didn't even recognize him and just attacked. That's what I've heard on the road, anyhow. Take it for what it is.
Alright, let's see. You know, Bowden, it just occurred to me. You didn't mention your son in your tale.
Ah, yes. I'm married to a fine woman back in Dinnerham, it's true. She'd give me a son if she could, but that's not likely to ever be. Sandal here. I found him in the deep roads years ago. Abandoned, I think, and he was never quite right in the head. I took him in, and I brought him with me when I came here to the surface. He may not be my blood, true, but I think of him as one.
We left Orzammar.
That's right, boy. Maybe one day we'll see it again.
That was very generous of you.
It's not as if I don't benefit, mind you. Turns out the boy's a natural working with enchantments. He might have even been lyrium-addled. I never thought of that before, to be honest. Happens sometimes. He can work an enchantment into just about anything, however, given some time. Could probably open his own shop, if he knew how.
Enchantment.
Well, he does seem to enjoy it, at least.
Let me see your wares, Bowden.
I'm sure you'll be pleased with the goods my boy and I have collected. And with your discount.
Oh, very pleased with that discount. Alright. Health poultices. We're doing alright. I could use some lesser health poultices. Oh, let's sell some things first. What do we not need? I'm not really going to be using these poisons, unfortunately. But I kind of want to keep them around for the moment. Spirit Balm. Right. Elixir Grounding. My traps. Okay. My ingredients. Alright, I don't need that great sword. Don't need the long sword. Everybody's outfitted in their armor at the moment. You know what? Okay, I know I don't need that. But you know what we're gonna do is make sure everybody's got the best possible armor that they could have. Leather helm, yep, I'm good. Cured leather gloves. Rough leather gloves are a little bit worse. Studded leather boots. Yes, I'm good. Morrigan. Yeah, you got your better hat. Not quite as good, not quite as good, and not quite as good. And the apprentice cowl. Okay, so I can probably get rid of the apprentice cowl. Sten. You got a Kunari thickened cap, which is great. Okay, you've got chainmail, yeah, heavy chainmail. It's the same thing. So I can get rid of the heavy chainmail, and the superior dwarven guard armor is really cool. But I think at this point it's going out of style. I'll keep it around for the moment, I suppose. Alright, Alistair. Okay, splint mail. Splint mail, splint mail, splint mail. So I guess that's kind of considered medium armor? I suppose. Alright, and you don't need the apprentice cowl. Yeah. Liliana. Oh, you don't have a hat? Here we go. There you are, Liliana. Got cured leather gloves, cured leather helm, leather boots, and a chantry robe, though that won't do. You really need something better. Let's check. The cured leather gloves are the best we've got. Studded leather boots. Okay. We want to keep with leather to keep her with the item set bonus, so we'll stick with that for the moment. Okay, and Sparky. Yay! Alright. So, let's go ahead
Enchantment?
and
Oh, certainly, I can...
buy some stuff. We're going to sell. That's all the weapons I've got left, huh? We're going to go ahead and sell the rest of these. Don't need to sell you. Don't need to sell any of you. Alright. Ooh, wow, 131 sovereigns. It's a dragon bone. Whew. That's impressive. Alright. Steel greatsword, longsword, Sylvan's Mercy. Alright. Armor. Conspirator's foil. That sounds pretty neat. I like that. Alright, proving helm. Oh, proving helm. I wonder if that has to do with the proving. Blood dragon plate helmet. Ah, there's some more. Okay, so here's the rest of the blood dragon stuff. Spirit hands. Ooh, for mages. That's nice. Angled strikers. Okay, for rogues. Critical and backstab damage. Nice. Leather gloves. Bard's dancing shoes. We could get that for Liliana eventually. Imperial weavers. Silverhammer's tackmasters. This is cool. I don't remember there being so many, nearly as many really cool armors and stuff before. Alright, heavy chainmail. You don't have... Oh, come on. You don't have any leather armor? That's just wrong. Let's... Okay, I went to buy collective arming cowl. Cool. Enchantress arming cap. Apprentice cowl. What was it? Was it this? Light boots. Yeah. Silverhammer's tackmasters with 2 dexterity. I like that. I like it a lot. Let's see what else you have. The spell ward. Whew. 8 health regeneration while exploring. 30% spell resistance. Wow. That is nice. Parvalan Wiltstone. 2 willpower. Dalish pendant. Dalish hunter's belt. Ooh, stamina regeneration in combat. I could probably use that. Ah, there's my dwarven merchant's belt. Cool. Longbowman's belt. Nice. Ember. And hailstone. Okay, so you got a good, decent amount of those. A bunch of runes. A bunch of... Oh, right. These are the feast day prank gifts and gift gifts and stuff. Like the Ugly Boots protective cone. Cat Lady's hobble stick. This gnarled staff carries odors of cat urine and prune juice. Oh my. A chastity belt. Joy. Oh, I can get a backpack. Increases inventory capacity by 10. I'll have to remember that. Uncrushable pigeon. Interesting. Rotten onion, lump of charcoal, thoughtful gift, sugar cake. Alistair doll. Oh. Golden rope necklace. Not bad. Grey Warden hand puppet. Alright, let's see. So, a bunch of rooms. Tome of Arcane Technique. 1 point to spend on a talent or spell, but is rendered useless. Tome of Physical Technique. Warrior or Rogue. Nice. Cool. I like it. Crafting. Oh, okay. Where were we then? We were at those Silverhammer's Tackmasters. I don't want the Imperial Weavers because I can't wear it. Can't wear that. Alright, so we'll buy you. Cool, and then there was some of these rings looked neat. Dalish Pendant. I can't get the Hunter's Belt. It's a pity. I could get the Merchant's Belt. Which, yeah, that's a good start. Okay. So let's put on the Ritz. We'll put on the Ritz. Put on these shoes. Oh, it takes off my set bonus. But the set bonus doesn't seem to do much. Let's see. 7, 67, 64, 16. 7, 60, 64. What? Is it makes everything a little bit better without the set bonus? Yeah, it's better defense, better attack, better armor, and better damage. So even without the set bonus, we're better this way. Huh. Okay, because the +2 dexterity is just going to increase most all that stuff up. That's nice. Well, I'll stick with you then, and put on that Dwarven Merchant Belt. Yeah. Alright, Sandal and Bowden. Oh wait, I can sell that stuff back.
If there's anything I can do for you, please, please.
Okay, where is... Yep, sell that. Actually, I probably should have looked to see if that was better than anybody else's stuff. Levi
You're a
Dryden.
hard man to find. Where are my manners? The name is Levy. Levy Dryden. Did Duncan ever mention me? Levy of the coins? Levy the trader?
I'm Durin. I can't say I've ever heard of you, though.
Really? He never told you of old Levy? We've known each other for years. But here I am carrying on while you have a blight to stop. Don't want to waste your time. But you see, Duncan promised that together we'd look into something important for the Wardens. And for me. But poor Duncan's... well, no more. A tragedy it is, at that. But I know he would want his work carried on. His pledge fulfilled.
What promise did Duncan make to you, Levy?
My family, well, past a bit checkered to see. Nobles look at us with disdain. My great-great-grandmother, Sophia Dryden, was the last Warden Commander of Ferelden back when the Wardens were known as freeloaders. So King Arlen banished the Wardens, and he took House Dryden's land and titles.
Well, what happened next?
Hard to say. After King Arlen died, there was a civil war, loads worse than this one. And our family was on the run, hunted by enemies, with nary a friend in the world. But Drydens are tough. We rebuilt, became merchants, and we never lost our pride.
I'm surprised you kept your name after all of that.
Our family's only crime was guarding the kingdom against the blight. We're not ashamed of that.
So what favor did you ask of Duncan?
I asked for the truth. My family reveres Sophia Dryden. We know she died at the old Grey Warden base, Soldier's Peak. We want evidence to clear her name. It won't restore our land or our titles, but it'll restore our honor.
And you can't just go there by yourself?
Well, no one's been to Soldier's Peak since Arlen's days. At least none that's come back. I spent years mapping the maze of tunnels to the peak, and I found the way a few years back. So I went to Duncan, I did, and I said that he could reclaim the old base and my family could have its honour.
Why didn't Duncan help you then?
Darkspawn surfaced in southern Ferelden, and Duncan got plenty busy recruiting new wardens and meeting with good King Cailan. Duncan said he would help after the Battle of Ostagar. Said there might be useful things at the peak, but he never had the chance.
What do you need from me then?
I can pick my way through the tunnels at the base of Soldier's Peak, but the place, well, they say it's haunted, and it'll be dangerous for certain. Will you think on it at least?
Let's see. How would reclaiming the peak help the Wardens?
Soldier's Peak is strategic and symbolic importance. Duncan said that it would be worth it right there. He also hoped to recover lost Warden history and perhaps a few old relics. No one knows what's up there now.
Well then, your family's faith will be rewarded. I will help you.
1,000 blessings upon you, Warden. I'll mark down the location on your map. When you arrive, we'll pick our way through the tunnels together.
Awesome. History of the Drydens and Sophia Dryden. Alright. History of the Drydens. In the years following the siege of Soldier's Peak, all those who carried the Dryden name were hunted by King Arlen's forces. Our noble Dryden name was smeared, and all lands and holdings belonging to the Drydens were seized by the crown. The king feared that the rebellion started by Sophia would be kept alive by her loyal friends and family, and anyone with connections to the Drydens suffered greatly. It is little wonder, then, that the few remaining Drydens found themselves with no allies and nowhere to turn. Tobin Dryden, Sophia's brother and guardian of her young son, had no choice but to flee Ferelden. Tobin bought passage to Antiva on a merchant vessel and traveled under the name Derosher, maybe. I don't know. Once in Antiva, Tobin set about building a new, quiet life for himself and his nephew. He started a small business and eventually made a name for himself as a trader. The Derosher merchant family prospered, and the name Dryden was almost forgotten. However, in 815 Blessed, Sylvie Derosher uncovered old documents belonging to Tobin and pieced together the family's history. In her pride, and perhaps her naivete, Sylvie reclaimed the name Dryden and returned to Ferelden. King Arland lies dead, and the Dryden name lives on. Our family has survived, even thrived, since the death of Sophia Dryden. The nobles of Ferelden may still spit on the Dryden name, but we Drydens know that Sophia Dryden was greater than them, almost a queen, and a hero of the people of Ferelden. Cool, cool. Okay. Creatures. Bear. Okay, normally it is almost unheard of for bears to attack travelers. They are, in fact, so shy and so inactive during the day that most people never encounter a bear at all. However, should a bear be provoked, they are remarkably dangerous. The normally placid-seeming creatures become enraged and can strike massive blows with their paws capable of knocking a man off his feet. Get rid of that control stuff. Runes and enchantment, party camp, specializations. Okay, we've got Sophia Dryden. Arlessa Sophia Dryden was the young Arlen's rival for the throne of Ferelden. Dryden was a strong and charismatic leader with much support from the Bannorn. When Arlen finally won the crown, Dryden refused to relent. She pushed her claim, was caught, and accused of treason. Her sympathizers continued to support her, however. In order to appease them, Dryden was spared execution and forced to join the Grey Wardens instead. Dryden survived the joining and dazzled the Grey Wardens at Soldier's Peak with her leadership skills and charm. She eventually rose through the ranks to become the Warden Commander of Ferelden. Before Commander Dryden, the Grey Wardens were seen as a relic of an older time and an unnecessary drain on the nobles' coffers. Dryden, though, with her political connections, reinvigorated the Wardens and rapidly increased their numbers. In the meantime, King Arlen proved himself a devious king, willing to go to brutal lengths to silence his opponents. Arlen's reign of terror grew worse with each passing year, and some of the bands approached Commander Dryden in desperation, begging her to intercede. She agreed, and thus was the rebellion against King Arland born. Arland learned of the rebellion and took steps to end it. He publicly suspended all tithing to the Grey Wardens and declared that they were no longer welcome in Ferelden. Some of the Wardens, mindful that they were supposed to remain politically neutral, felt disgraced by Dryden's involvement in Ferelden politics and left her side even as the king's forces lay siege to Soldier's Peak. The siege took months and ended with the death of Sophia Dryden. Dun 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 dun. Alrighty. Let's see, what else can we get into? Let's talk to Morgan, way over here. I guess she doesn't like being with the crowd.
What do you wish of me?
I'd like to ask you something.
If you must.
Well, I was wondering, how exactly did you become a shapeshifter?
I was not born such. 'Tis a skill of Flemeth's, taught over many years in the wilds. The chastened have tales of we witches, saying that we assume the forms of creatures to watch them from hiding. When a child is alone and separate from his tribe, that is when we strike, dragging the young boy kicking and screaming to our lair to be devoured.
Oh my.
A most amusing legend.
Your mother has been doing this for a long time then, I take it.
Changing her form, certainly. Devouring lost children, I cannot say. She has not done it in my experience, though in truth my lifespan is but a fraction of her own. Why do you ask? Is there something specific you wish to know?
Can you, change into other human forms as well?
The form of an animal is different from my own. One may study the creature, learn to move as it does, think as it does. In time, this allows one to become as it is. I gain nothing by studying another human. I already am the same as they are. I learn nothing. So the answer is no, my human form is the only one I possess.
Interesting. Can anyone become a shape changer?
Anyone with sufficient will. But the act of transformation is a magical one. 'Tis a spell and thus requires a mage's talents. If you had a notion to learn such a skill for yourself, sadly, you must remain disappointed.
I didn't want to change into an animal anyways. Did you spend a lot of time as an animal?
There were nights when the wilds called to me, 'tis true. You look upon the world around you and you think you know it well. I have smelled it as a wolf, listened as a cat, prowled shadows that you never dreamed existed. But my life is as a human. I am under no illusions to the contrary.
And what do other animals think of you when you're changed?
They do not shy away from me. To their senses, I believe I seem like any other of their species. As to what they think, I truly cannot say. Just as I am still human, no matter my form, they are still animals. Thus they cannot speak, even were I to ask.
I've never heard of magic like that before.
No? 'Tis not unheard of in the remote corners of the world. There are traditions of magic outside of the circle of magi, despite what those mages would have you believe. Some of these traditions are old, indeed, passed down as carefully guarded lore from one generation to the next. The zealots of the chantry would uproot all such practitioners if they could. But as luck have it, some still exist. My mother is such a one.
By practitioners, you mean apostates, don't you?
Not all apostates use the forbidden blood arts. Maleficarum do, but to condemn all who do not fall under the circle's thrall for the sake of what might be is a dangerous path to walk. There are those who look on the word apostate as meaning freedom.
That's all I wanted to ask. Thank you, Morgan.
Indeed. Have you an opinion on my abilities, then? Am I an unnatural abomination to be put to the torch?
I think your abilities sound quite useful. especially in these difficult and dangerous times.
Oh, you're simply full of surprises, little man, aren't you? But enough of such talk. Let us proceed, lest the dust gather on us.
Alright. Oh, Morgan approves. Look at that. Morgan's approval rating at 4 now. Yay! Alright. Anything else you have to tell me?
What do you wish of me?
I'd like to ask you something.
If you must.
Have you ever been hunted by the Chantry?
You are very cute to ask so many questions.
Oh, well, you're cute when you're evasive.
Really? Perhaps we should be wrapped in ribbons and adorned with flowers. So cute are we, too. My mother has been hunted from time to time, yes, by Templar fools like Alistair, which should tell you how successful they generally were. Flemeth made a bit of a game of it, in fact. The Templars would come again, and she would look at me and smile and say that the fun was to begin once more.
Fun? You found it, fun?
I found the game fun. I was too young to understand the truth behind what was happening. Flemeth would warn them once. 'Twas a warning they inevitably failed to heed. And then the true game began. Often Flemeth would use me as bait. A little girl to scream and run and lure the Templars deeper into the wilds and to their doom.
Flemeth used you as bait? What?
'Twas a game, and I a young girl. If I didn't get to play, I would have been very upset. Thankfully, the wilds is a vast place. Once they found us, Flemeth would simply move us elsewhere, and we would be lost within the forest once again. I did not understand the danger we faced until I was much older. I had never heard of apostates or maleficarum.
So, you still think that that was fun?
I think that my mother made it fun so that a child did not learn to fear. And I think that it was necessary. There are no trials for apostates, no prisons, no mercy. There are only absolutes, so only survival matters. If the wilds have taught me anything, 'tis this. First, you must survive. Do you disagree?
Well, considering current events, you're probably right.
An enlightened view, or at least an agreeable one. Enough of this talk. Let us return to the task at hand.
Alright. Morgan has many interesting things to say. Ooh, and she approves again. Now we're up to 8. But, yeah, that's gonna be it for today's episode, guys. We've gotten to our camp. We've talked with Bodan and Sandal. We've talked with our little previously noble friend. Learned about Soldier's Peak. And now we've spoken a little bit with Morgan. Next time, we'll probably give some talks with the rest of the companions. Until then, have a good one, everyone. Bye all.